Good morning. I don't see a yellow line. Maybe we'll actually get a Facebook Live today. This is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi. And this is the third time to try this episode of Conversations with a Corgi. And I have been wanting to talk about something that occurred to me during 4 days last week. I've burned my hand quite badly, so I kind of have to hold it up. I'll try to keep it out of the range. Anyway, last week when I was at this craniosacral class for 4 days, having just taught my class a couple of weeks before, it kept coming back to me, the importance of following the body. And you guys let me know if you can't hear me, because this is the third try on this one. So the body is all-knowing and does have the ability to heal itself. And it's up to us to put it in a position where it can do that. And that can be through any number of methods, any kind of holistic medicine, surgery even, drugs, anything like that that can restore balance to the body, allows the body to heal itself. And this idea of holistic medicine, really one of the hallmarks of that is that we are allowing the body to heal itself. We are recognizing the body's wisdom. And this idea of following the body has two aspects. So in holistic medicine, we talk about direct and indirect techniques. And direct techniques are those where we go into the body's resistance. Myotherapy is an example of this, where you push against the tissue that's in spasm. Like never go on Facebook again. Oh, there we go. We're back. Okay, so in holistic medicine, there's this idea of holism. And holism means that you're looking at the body as a whole, and the body is a self-healing mechanism. For thousands of years in Chinese medicine, we have looked at this idea that the body has its own wisdom and can heal itself. And we're seeing this more in allopathic medicine now. Some of the new treatments for cancer actually engage the body's own immune system to be able to combat cancer. And many people believe that we get cancer, it's been proven that we get cancer several times a month, and that our body's immune system eliminates it. And then sometimes for some people it doesn't. And what's that about? The body is not in balance. And Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine, and lots of holistic medicine, even chiropractic, is about keeping the body in balance. Because if the body is balanced, it has what it needs to heal itself. So we were talking before about this idea of a direct and indirect technique. So in myotherapy, which is a direct technique, if the cells are in a spasm, and you get a muscle spasm, you put pressure on it, take oxygen out of the cells by putting pressure on it, and then it sort of reboots, like turning off your computer or plugging or unplugging something. And so when the oxygen is allowed back to the cells, they will function in a more normal way instead of being in spasm. That's a direct technique. You're going into resistance. The idea of an indirect technique, which is what I do, all of my work, Tellington T-Touch, craniosacral therapy, even Reiki, is an indirect technique, because you go into the direction of ease. You go where the body wants to go. For meaning that, and now we're back, meaning that when you're a facilitator, you witness the healing of the person or animal on the table. You are not making that healing happen by something you're doing. So basically, you're putting the body in balance so that the body can then find a way to heal itself. So that is a little bit about direct and indirect techniques. So in craniosacral therapy, we've had, and this goes for some osteopathic approaches as well, we've had some techniques where you sort of take the body out of synchrony and in order to get it back in synchrony in a more functional way. And there's been a huge shift, and I know that as long as I've been doing the animal class, since my friend Tracy Vroom and I, who teaches animal cranial out in Colorado, mostly for horses, since we had a discussion about this, we have only been following the way the animal's body is going when we're working on them, and then nudging it into a functional way of being, as opposed to taking it out of synchrony if it is in synchrony. And so we've been doing that for a number of years, but to have this validated by this class I just had to sit in on was super helpful and really refreshing. And it just seems so And I know, there we are, we're back again. I know my friend Dr. Bernie Siegel is a surgeon, and for years he has been dialoguing with the body silently or even out loud while he's doing surgery in order to engage that body in the process and not make surgery as invasive as it could be. You know, you watch some of these doctor shows on TV and they just come in there and they're, I'm going to fix this, I'm the only surgeon who can do this. There's ego involved, and that is not a holistic way of doing surgery. But Dr. Siegel goes into a person, and you know, he worked with children with cancer, and he says, let's see what we can do to make the situation better, working together with the person on the table. And even during surgery, he'll think things like, okay, there's a lot of blood here, let's send that to the liver, and miraculously the blood will move to another part of the body. So, you know, that's a holistic way of practicing surgery. So this idea can apply to any aspect of medicine. And the same goes with drugs. You know, a lot of people do muscle testing now, which we've talked about, to see which drug might be the best for them, to try to follow their body's inner wisdom. And certainly with homeopathy, you know, you're using that idea of the body's ability to heal itself by giving somebody a tiny, minuscule amount of what it is that might be hurting them. For instance, you take Apis when you've been stung by a bee, and that will help take some of, get your body's immune system engaged to combat, you know, the histamines that are in your body from the bee sting. So, and you know, homeopathy is a pretty old system of medicine or thinking about healing. No matter you believe it works or not. I mean, I've seen it do miraculous things, and there's many reasons about that that have been postulated. But certainly this idea of the body's knowing and the body's knowing what it needs to heal is something that we should really subscribe to with the way we look at our animals. Certainly all of holistic medicine looks at it that way, and it behooves us to feel that way about ourselves as well, because how well can we take care of our dogs if we're really sick and we're not taking care of ourselves? And that goes right down to the food we eat, just like the food we feed our dogs. So that is the fourth time now that I have tried to talk about the body's system of knowing and the body's way of healing itself on one of these Facebook Lives. I do not know how this video came out. There could be big stops in it that make people stop viewing. Hopefully you have jumped over those when you're watching this at a later date. And Tristan and I have a pretty busy day today. We have to get ready. Tomorrow he's taking his test for his performer level of trick dog. And so we have to finish putting together our performance. And what I didn't know is that there are required moves and required numbers of moves that we have to incorporate. That's been a little bit of work. And then tomorrow we won't be doing Facebook Live because I will be driving out to Southborough, Mass, which is a couple hours from here, to go to the Corgi Costume Festival where we're doing our test. So, and Tristan is going to be unveiling his new improved cow costume. after his win last year with his lobster costume. You're a good lobster. When I posted his lobster picture on the website where we're doing this, or on the Facebook page, one of the ladies wrote, "Get that baby some melted butter." Poor Tristan. So, I don't know. Let's see, next week, possibly on Wednesday, we'll be back because I have dog school on Wednesday morning. It's really chaotic in here. I have to be pretty far away from here around 8:30. So I don't know that I'll be able to do this. And I'm at the educator job Monday, Tuesday.